Today on Bricks and Toys, the Lego City gets some wood. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bricks and Toys. This is the third or fourth, however you want to count it, final part of getting this fixed. Now, what we're doing today is not the fault of what happened with the city, but it is a major gripe of mine. And what I'm talking about is the base plates doing the wave. It is super annoying, and basically what's happening is these are 8 individual tables with 8 sets of individual legs, and those legs have adjustments all on their own. And when you just look at it, the amusement park itself is about 1/4 of an inch lower than the original city. Now, I did a pretty good job at leveling these out, but there is still so much more to be desired. So what we're going to do is we're going to go grab a level, and the big part about today is we're just going to have a level on the city, and we're going to be fixing stuff like this. That's not supposed to be there. If we come around over to this point where the amusement park joins in with this part, we can clearly see it's just not good. So the leveling is a huge issue with today's project. But the other issue is security. We all love some good security, and this city does not have good security. And I'm not talking about defensible security like what happens if someone takes it. I'm talking about securing it to the frickin' tables. These tables, anytime you move a base plate that's large, like say 2x6 base plates, it all starts to shift around and move. So we're going to, once we level everything out and we get the leveling correct, we're going to then take this nice wood, I got the expensive stuff, and we're going to slap this right on the edge of the table. And then we're going to zap these all together with this. And that'll lock it in super tight. We're going to do a row over here. We're going to do a row over here and maybe a row right here. Just depends on how much we have left. And then we're going to take a 2x4. We're going to put a 2x4 in this gap right here, so that will prevent any base plates from sinking into the middle. So we're going to put that over there. And then to finish it all off, I have this nice trim board that I'm going to cut and fit, and that's going to be the shelf that leans over the side over here, so the amusement park has something sturdy to secure itself to. So with that, I'm going to put you guys to a time lapse, and we're going to turn on the fan in here, and I'm going to pull out all the stuff from under the tables, and then I'm going to start doing the leveling, and then I'm going to take out the majority of all the brackets that hold these together, at least the ones that matter, because I got brackets under the table right now. But I'm going to take out the ones over here because these are going to change. The ones over here are going to change. And that was the final thing I almost forgot to tell you of what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of wood and I'm going to use this piece of wood as a stitch board to go in between the two halves. So then the two halves of the amusement park to the city are actually attached. So let's go to a time lapse and let's start getting this done. Here we go with the table. It's not pretty, but who gives a rat's tail? You're not looking at my table, you're looking at the Lego City. So here's what was important. Shearing up this corner, or this edge. So all these tables are connected. So we put a piece of wood there. Then I got a corner brace. That's where we're going to start locking in buildings. That will be the Palace Cinema that gets locked into there. And then we'll gauge if we can put one down on that end to lock it in. But then we did put a 2x4 right down the middle. And now you may be looking at this going, what the hell happened? Well, guys, it's all about being smooth. The 2x4 was about 1/4 inch too tall, so I had to cut the top of the quarter of the 2x4 off and then sand it down. And I decided to sand it until I sanded into the tables. I don't care about damaging the tables. They're already ruined from sliding Mills plates. So now there is no center part that is empty. And the good thing is all this is pretty smooth all the way through and down. What was happening was this section of tables was drooping, this one was up, and then that centerpiece was causing a big dip, as well as all these other tables dipping. What's next? Well, what's next is I think I'm going to take the remaining bit of 2x4 and I'm going to cut it and stick it under that part of the platform. I didn't point that out when I took you guys around, but there is a 6-inch overlap platform on this side where the coasters are. That is because before I had the tables arrogantly spaced out, and if you just tipped or pulled a little bit too much of the wrong way, loop coaster parking lot that I had over there would just go kerplunk and she's done. You're done. So I put a 6-inch overlap to prevent that. And by doing that, I was able to make all the tables much more compact. Before, it was just kind of like tables were just laid out to kind of like make it fit and forget about it. And that was causing the base plates to flop like a fish. So now everything is as level as you can get it with these $50 IKEA tables. And what we're going to do now is go into a time lapse of putting the city back. But for right now, I'm actually going to call it a night because I am dirty, I am gross, and I am hot. So what you'll be seeing next is this is the time lapse. Okie dokie, so here's the deal, everybody. We are to this point, and it's looking really good. It's just now we need to do something with the amusement park. And what needs to be done with the park is I need to put the botanical garden in front of the Mos Eisley Cantina attraction. It just doesn't look good in front of the coaster. I don't like how it takes away from the coaster. So we need to get that moved. So far, as you guys can see from the time lapse, it's looking complete again. It's looking like home. It's looking original. It's just wonderful to see it like this. But for now, let's go and do a time lapse of getting this amusement park done. We're not going to put nothing back here because we're currently filming the series for the 2 new modulars right there. So that will be empty, but for now, let's get this part filled in. Okay guys, it's time to do a city tour. That has been long overdue to do correctly.
What happened today, I slipped while putting this ladder back up, and when I slipped, the ladder, that box, that whiteboard that we used to use on the channel fell. To start, it took out a lot of the Speed Champions cars up on that side, took out half, if not 3/4 of this shelf. You can see the scratch marks on the wall up there. And those cars came falling down. And here we have all of the cars in the amusement park. Not where they're supposed to be. There's the botanical garden I just built, and yeah, that's destroyed. And then coming around here, you can see all of this devastation. It landed so hard that I had Lego pieces stuck in that Sony box. There is the police station, well, what's left of it. What's left of the diner. Sanctum. 2009's Fire Brigade. The Up House is over there, if you guys didn't already notice. That's gone. Most of the Palace Cinema is down here on the floor. There is some Boutique Hotel on the floor. Pieces of the Palace Cinema is all the way out over here, and Boutique Hotel. The hardest one for me is, if you see, that's parts of the Daily Bugle, right up to here. There's the Daily Bugle sign, well, what's left of it. And that's the Bugle. Not insensitive to 9/11 and the people that lost their lives, but this is a lot like Ground Zero. This is just flat out terrible. Even got the Assembly Square. Like, look how jarred that building is. This was going to be a nice, happy video showing you guys all of the Lego sets we have and everything. So, this is back as it was, only with the exception of the friction pins holding everything tightly together. This is all back down to normal. As you guys can see, Daily Bugle is back, which is wonderful. Then the Boutique Hotel is back, which is also really nice. Next to it's the police station, that is back. We have this little scene back with the bunny. Then we come over here. We have this all back to normal with the Palace Cinema rebuilt. Coming over here, we have the Sanctum Sanctorum back to the way it was before. Coming down here to the Fire Brigade, back to the way it was before. Coming over, we have the Assembly Square, back to normal, as well as the corner garage. Coming around over here, we have our deserty area with our campgrounds and our fishing stores, all back to normal. Everything put back just like I had it, if not a little bit better. Here we go. Coming over here to the Lego store. All back. Now there is a big ass hole. That is for something later. Now things that are different. I used the botanical garden as the attraction to cover up the ugly side of the cantina. If you guys go to Disneyland, that's how they do it in Disneyland. They put the attraction in a warehouse, and then they put trees around it so you don't notice. All you see is the front fascia, which we'll come over to that in a minute. I redid all the tiling over here so it looks a lot more cleaner. All of these little empty squares will be trees with planter boxes. I will have to order 28 trees to get that project done. Here we have the loop coaster, back to normal, as well as the space coaster. Fun fact, we have this dude working the park, and his shift replacement is coming in right over there. So let's head on over there. All those cars are put back to normal. I got that lip almost perfect. I just had to use some spacers because it kind of sags. Now let's take a nice walk through the city. Planes are still there. Fun fact, cars are still trying to roll off. So no matter what I do, that's going to be my hell. Coming over here, here's Hocus Pocus. We now have a few more characters. Looks like this guy is probably drunk out of the shower and the cops are coming to get his butt. Uh-oh. So we have some new characters there. We got a slushy guy. And so there's the front of the cantina. Here's that guy on his way to work to replace that guy in his shift. We do have a new character right down there. As you guys can see, all the tiling is done with the exception of right in the middle, because I gotta get the buildings back for that. But yeah, there we go, guys. It's all back. Isn't it just lovely? Okay, everybody. Just a few short more thoughts until we wrap up this series. This whole series, from the cars to this point, to get everything done, minus that section right there in the middle, is at least 30 hours worth of restoration work. Originally, I was going to take about 6 to 8 hours, take the city out, level the tables, and then put the city back. And then the box fell. Tack on another 22 to 24 hours. The Daily Bugle alone took 3 hours to fix. Every 2 buildings I fixed back to back was about another 2 hours, so about an hour apiece at 6 buildings. So right there, just to fix buildings, we're at almost 10 hours alone. Then there was the 10-hour day I spent out here adjusting, leveling the tables, cleaning, because after I did the tables, I'm sure we're going to see a big dust cloud in the time lapse. I had to go through and clean the whole studio. Probably could have done it more efficiently, but I didn't. It is what it is. So it's just the time, and then to take the time and put the parts, because while this was broken, I was still getting minifigures in, tiles in, things to do, things to get done. So I didn't do it because I figured I got to take everything apart, so screw it. So I had to put all those things together and get all those things done. That's why that center section of buildings are done, because I have 2 buildings coming up. I think by the time this video comes out, we'll know about the Grand Emporium, but then I got the next one coming up after this video, or sometime around this video. And then there's things like moving the botanical garden and making that custom thing to fit there. I had to make a custom base plate just to make that work. All in all, no complaints. If it sounds like I'm complaining, it's because I'm actually sick. I decided to film all of this in one weekend over 3 videos, all while having a viral infection. Not fun. So, it is what it is. Literally, I'm wearing the wrong shirt today. I'm wearing the one that says I'm overthinking everything, which probably I did a lot of that on this. But anyway, guys, I'm super happy. Now, drop your comments down below. What do you think about the new city? How do you feel about it? It's not the stuff on the surface that makes the difference. When I was putting all the locking pins and all the 2x2 tiles and everything, having those tables level was so much nicer. In some areas where plates connected, I had to put 2 1x2 tiles instead of a 2x2 because of the lip. If I put a 2x2, it would sit sideways. So it's best just to have 2 different tiles to make the step down and just deal with it. Those things are all gone now. I have this where it's seamless. It's subliminally more beautiful. Before you would look at it and go, it's a nice city. But then you kind of be like, what's kind of cheap about it? Something's cheap. And what was cheap about it was the fact I didn't take the time to take everything out and put the new tables in and do it correctly. That 2x4 down the middle, all the under support bracing that I did and all the around bracing just made this so much more solid. And even though you can't really tell on camera, putting everything down makes a huge difference. And I did not forget when I told you guys that I might be able to expand the city on this. When I did my changes, I made a 2-inch gap right here. We all know a base plate is 8 inches. So I will be able to, or 10 inches, I will be able to put an 8-inch board right here and be able to bring 4 more base plates into the city. And if I decide to do so, the way it's going to work is I'm going to bring this all back, 2 base plates behind the Parisian and the bookstore, one base plate for the road plate, and then one to put something right in front of the blacksmith. So the blacksmith will get turned this way and put a base plate there. So
by doing this whole project, I have opened the door to put 8 more inches in right here when the modular buildings come in. And in terms of modular buildings, that 16 by 32 empty lot, that was the up house. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did put the minifigures of Carl, Doug, and whatever the kid's name is. I can't remember what the kid's name is for some weird reason. I put all of those minifigures back like they're coming home with the penny jar, and they lost their house. So I made it look like that for now. But there is a museum coming down the line. And if there is, I will put a base plate where the fire brigade is and make that the new museum, or whatever it's going to be called, go right there. So I'll have 2 48 by 32 base plate buildings back to back, boom and boom. And then I'll move the fire brigade someplace else in the city. That's probably when we start talking about either moving out the blacksmith or moving this down and start making those accommodations. That's not until January, so chillax. So drop your comments down below. What do you guys think? Can you guys tell a difference? Do you guys think we did good progress on this? And tell me you guys just like the video in general. That always helps as well. And on that one, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys really like this build series, because I did not like to do it, but accidents happen, and now I'm glad that they're over with. So now let's move on with the channel, because I've been feeling like we're in channel purgatory with this going on. So thank you for watching. Have a good one.